Hey, sixth graders, welcome back. It's May 14th, and today is Thursday. It means we're going to hit our very last topic on ratios for the week, and then your independent practice today is your quiz. Before we get started on today's guided practice, please take a moment and find your notes from the rest of this week. Hopefully you've kept them nice and organized. Of course, you're welcome to use your notes on your quiz today. And of course, you're welcome to use a calculator for these standards on your quiz today. So go ahead and pause, grab some notes to take today, a pencil and paper, and grab your notes from this week. Awesome, we are ready to get started. Go ahead and set up your notes today. Our topic is identify equivalent ratios. The questions that you'll see that are related to this topic might say, which ratios are equivalent to this one? Or the questions you might see are more like, which of these represents a car that is traveling 60 miles per hour? Both of those kind of questions are really asking you to identify equivalent ratios, and you'll see that on your quiz today and in our guided practice today. All right, let's review equivalent ratios. I'm going to start here with this picture. This is an example of equivalent ratios, so just follow along with my mouse. The ratio of stars to hearts in this diagram is 2 to 1. An equivalent ratio might have more of each part, but each part increases in proportion or increases proportionally. So if we had 2 stars to 1 heart, that's the same as saying 4 stars to 2 hearts. Of course, there are more stars and more hearts, but they've increased equally. Same thing, 6 stars to 3 hearts. Okay, think about when you have a lot of experience with simplifying fractions. And so thinking about ratios, we can expand ratios, give them bigger pieces, or we can simplify ratios or give them smaller pieces, but their relationship is the same. Okay, I can think about it this way too. If I have a ratio of 3 to 4, if I multiply each part by 5, I get a ratio of 15 to 20, and those are equivalent ratios. Even though each part is bigger, their relationship is the same. Same thing, if I have the ratio 12 to 8, I can use division. So both multiplication and division. Multiplication and, yes, of each part to get an equivalent ratio. Here is a sentence to summarize. Follow along with me. A ratio shows the relative sizes of 2 or more like values. Equivalent ratios are ratios that are in proportion. Equivalent ratios are formed by multiplying or dividing all their terms by the same number, yes. Okay, I want you to pause here. Your question of the day today asks you to fill in the blank. So I just want to show you exactly what I mean. We're going to use this sentence and fill in the blank in our Google form. Equivalent ratios are formed by multiplying or dividing all their terms by the, yes, by the same number. Fill that in now. Awesome. Let's get started with guided practice number 1. On your paper, go ahead and label number 1. Which of these is an example of typing at a rate of 42 words per minute? All right, go ahead and take a minute on your own to work through this question, and then we'll come back together. Last 20 seconds. All right, there are a lot of strategies you could have used to solve this problem. You could set up a ratio table. You could look through some ratios or write some ratios and draw those arrows. That's a strategy I used, and so when I showed you in the image on the previous slide. But the big picture here is that if we want to generate an equivalent ratio, we need to multiply all the parts of the ratio by the same number. By that? Yes, or divide. So if I'm comparing 42 words per minute, that's like saying per 1 minute. Am I multiplying or dividing by the same thing to get to A? Well, I know to get from 42 to 21, I'm going to go ahead and divide by 2. That's the relationship that exists there. How about for minutes? Did I divide by 2? Don't get tricked. I multiplied by 2. Ooh, so these are not the same operation, and so therefore A is not true. So I'm going to go ahead and mark A as not true. How about B? Well, to get from 42 to 84, whoa, my pen went crazy, sorry. I multiply by 2. What about to get from 1 minute to 3 minutes? That's multiplied by 3, right? So have I multiplied by the same number for all parts of the ratio? No, I have not. So we're going to go ahead and mark B as not true, right? Okay. I want to show you the rest of my work. I found C to be true. I know that 1 minute times 5 is 5 minutes, and I know that 42 words times 5 was 210. That might not be a fact that you know, so you can use the standard algorithm for multiplication or another algorithm for multiplying to figure out that, yes, that relationship is the same. Answer choice D was not true. I see times 10 here, but I don't see times 10 on the other part of the ratio. Okay. One strategy I haven't shown you yet that I want to push you to explore, grab your pencil, is I can use also a within ratio relationship. So if I see that the relationship from number of minutes to number of words is times 42, then I should be able to see that same relationship in an equivalent ratio. And if I don't, then I know it's not equivalent. All right, that answer was C. So let's go ahead and select in our Google form for question number 1, answer choice C. All right, crushed it. We're going to move on to question 2. This is the last one we'll do together. Here we go. Select all the ratios below that are equivalent to 14 to 20. 1 minute on your own, go. Last 30 seconds. Think about what's the best way to show your thinking. All right, let's go ahead and come back together. Did you think A was true? A is true. How about B? Nope, that's not equivalent. C? C is not equivalent. What about D? Yes, D is equivalent. Let's look at my example work. My work got a little bit messy here, sorry. I did my best, but it did get a little bit messy. I put the original ratio at the top, and then I kind of worked answer choice A, and I tried to figure out what relationship existed. I saw that divided by 2 worked on both sides, so I went ahead and circled A. For B, I noticed that 20 times 2 is 40, but 14 times 2 is not 26. So this relationship I wrote not times 2. I don't know what it is actually, and it doesn't really matter. As long as it's not the same as the other one, then I know it can't be equivalent. Same thing for C, divided by 4, but not divided by 4. And D, 14 times 3 is 42, and 20 times 3 is 60, so that is equivalent. One way I want to push you, another strategy that I want to show you, is that I can write this ratio, 14 to 20. I can write it as a fraction. I just need to remember that the first part of my ratio is the numerator and the second part is the denominator. So if the fraction or the ratio that's given is an equivalent fraction, then it is an equivalent ratio. It's just another way to write it. So if you like working with fractions better, maybe try that one on your quiz today. All right, pause here to update your work if you need to. Beautiful. And we are going to enter our answer for this question in the Google form, so please go ahead and select A and D. Awesome. Today you have your quiz to complete. You'll see 10 questions. Please read the questions really carefully. As we know with ratios, order matters. Sometimes the question asks you something specific, or not sometimes, always. So make sure you're reading those questions really carefully as you're completing your quiz. It is due at 10 p.m. tonight, and I will see you back here tomorrow for our last academic Friday, which is wild. Today, and I'll see you back here tomorrow. Bye.